Hi, this is Nick Forster. We're going to share one of our favorite eTown shows from the archives, and it starts right now.
From eTown Hall in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, it's eTown with this week's guests. From Hawaii, Ron Artis II. From Jack's Solar Garden, Byron Kominek. And from Louisville, Colorado, Trace Bundy. I'm Helen Forster. Right now, join me in welcoming our host, Nick Forster.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome to eTown. Thanks, Helen. We are going to celebrate some great guitar playing this week. You know, it's the instrument that every teenager at some point wanted to pick up so they could have their dreams of rock and roll stardom and just making music with their friends come true. The guitar has been such an important instrument for so long, and we have a couple of great guitar players with us this week. I know for me, my love affair with the guitar began when I was 8 years old, and I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan's show, and I didn't know what they were doing, but I wanted in. And I figured the guitar was my pathway, and I was going to find out how to do it. So that led to all kinds of other things for me. This week, we have two guests who have dramatically different approaches to the guitar. Ron Artis II is an amazingly fluid guitar player. He sounds like the best blues rock players when he's plugged in, and he's got a delicate touch when he's playing acoustic. He's also a great singer, a great songwriter. He's here. He's going to be out with us in a little while. First, a guitar player who's created his own sound, which is really hard to do after all these years. He's got a style that's all his own. He uses all 10 fingers. He turns his guitar into a percussion instrument and makes a really compelling sound that really is all his own. He's had tens of millions of views on his YouTube videos, and he plays all over the place. In fact, he leaves for Budapest right after this show. So we're happy to have him join us. He's a local. He's from Colorado. Would you please help me welcome to eTown for his first visit, Trace Bundy.
Thank you so much, everyone. This is so great to be here. I feel so honored. I went to college at CU in the mid-90s, and I would listen to eTown on Sunday nights, and just to hear like you guys play the riff live, I mean, this is so cool, right? Yeah, so what an honor to be here. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it.
Trace Bundy, welcome to eTown.
Thanks. Great to be here, man.
Yeah, and you, like I said, you have a sound all your own. I heard the story that you bought your first guitar for $10. You and your brother were out there rummaging around in Buena Vista.
Yep, there was a yard sale, and my brother's like, we should play guitar, because of course every kid wants to play guitar, like you said.
Right.
And we each had $5 in our pockets, and so
Wow.
we chipped in, and for $10 bought a little tiny acoustic guitar.
And how did you allocate the time between the two of you? Who's going to get the guitar?
We fought over it for
Yeah,
sure.
sure, yeah.
But pretty quickly, my brother went to electric guitar because his favorite band was Metallica, and so
I see.
I kind of followed him for a while, and then I went back to acoustic, and so yeah.
And then how long did it take for you to figure out you were going to be a finger picker?
I think it was once I realized I have a terrible singing voice, and so I was like, I love music, I want to be a musician, but if I can't sing, how can I make my guitar sing? And you can do a lot with a pick, but I found I could do more with all 5 of my fingers.
Yeah. And so when you split off from your brother listening to Metallica and you wanted to choose other things, did you know about Leo Kottke or Michael Hedges or anybody like that, or did you just kind of make up your own path?
I unfortunately had never heard of Michael Hedges until later on. I didn't know that style of playing existed, but I remember I was sitting on my bed and I was playing a guitar riff with one hand, and I looked at this hand, I thought, I'm not using this hand, what can I do with it? And I reached over and I started playing some bass notes, and it felt kind of impossible at the time, but it grew into a song of mine. And then, of course, very soon after that, people were like, you know of Michael Hedges, right? I mean, he was like, the father of this kind of music. And so I never got to meet Michael, but huge respect, of course.
So you've decided early on you were never going to sing, and you had to find another path. And then as you dive in and you start making an audience, you just think of new ways of using different guitar pedals and other things to create sustain and delay and ways of augmenting your sound, making it sound like a pipe organ or whatever.
My approach is always like thinking outside the box in the guitar, how to stretch it in ways that isn't conventional. And doing that, sometimes you come up with stuff that's like, no, that doesn't work. And then sometimes you're like, wait, this is cool. This might work, And
Christmas music was a part of your, embracing a particular sound and style that brought an audience to you, and that's something you do every year, right? Christmas show?
I do, yeah. At Boulder Theater, it's called Trace Bundy's Acoustic Holiday.
Are there any other sort of genres that you're drawn to? Are you going to do sort of Trace Bundy's Shakti journey or something like that? I don't know.
You know that pipe organ sound.
The pipe organ
makes
sound,
some good ambient music. yeah. So maybe so.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. It's cool that you've made it work. And as you mentioned, your wife and kids are here. They don't get to come to a lot of your shows, I suspect. How's that working out, the balance between touring and being a family guy?
When our son was first born, we took him everywhere with us, me and my wife, and he'd been to, I think, 10 countries by the time he was 1, and it was really easy. And then, the kids get harder, like as they start crawling around and everything, and so now I just make my tours as short as possible.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, listen, congratulations. It is very rare for a young person who picks up a guitar, especially at a yard sale, and is able to make a go of it into their adult life and support their families doing that with music. And so it's a rare thing you've done. You've chosen a particular path with a guitar that's taken you some incredible places. So
well,
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, well, welcome back. Let's get back to music.
Okay.
Trace Bundy.
The song is called Elephant King. Forrester. Yes.
That's Trace Bundy from Louisville, Colorado. His latest record is called Elephant King. Out on What Are Records. Trace will be back, play some more music later on the show.
Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, or SCFD, one of the largest cultural funding mechanisms in the United States, supporting nearly 300 organizations in the greater Denver, Colorado area. And by our diverse family of NPR affiliates and community stations, plus college and commercial stations, as well as our international stations and podcast subscribers worldwide. Thank you for your continued support. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. You are listening to eTown. Trace Bundy is going to be back, play some more music later on. And coming up, Ron Artis II is here. Amazing singer, guitar player, and songwriter. He's from Hawaii. And we're really excited to have him. He'll be up in a little while. You are listening to eTown, as I mentioned, and you're very likely listening to it on the radio. I love listening to my local radio stations because I get surprised. When the algorithms are choosing my next song, I don't get surprised as often. So I was listening the other day to my local radio station, an interview about a farm not far from here, where it had been converted from primarily growing hay to now they put up a big solar array covering some acres of the land with some solar panels that were elevated on platforms that revolved to orient them towards the sun. And underneath, in the sort of shady parts underneath those solar panels, there were microclimates and they could grow different things and the soil was affected differently, and it became this new way of farming but also generating power, and it seemed so cool. And there was a new word called agrivoltaics that I'd never heard before. And I was so curious that I followed up and I found that very same farmer who had created this solar garden, and I asked him to join us, and he agreed, and he is here. So would you please help me welcome to eTown from Jack's Solar Garden, Byron Kominek. Did I kind of say your name right?
Oh, you got it.
I got it, okay.
This is fun.
Good.
Nice. It's cool. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, Jack's Solar Garden, as I understand it, is named for your grandfather. You want to just tell us about him a little bit?
His name was Jack Stingery. He was born in like 1895. He was a carpenter and a farmer for all his life, and he bought my family's farm that I currently live on in 1972. He passed away in 1980, and it's been in my family since, and I moved out there in 2016 to figure out a new life.
How many acres?
24 total, so
24, yeah.
Pretty small farm.
Yeah, and that's hard to make that support your family, for example.
Especially with hay.
Yeah.
You lose money on that one, yeah.
Yeah. So was it your idea to put up a bunch of solar panels?
Yeah, I tried to come up with a variety of different ideas, and none of them quite worked. And I had a buddy in the solar industry that said, your land's really flat. You got a 3-phase line there. Why don't you try a solar array? Took that idea to Boulder County, and they said, no, farmland's for farming. So why don't you go do that instead? They argued with me for about a year. Then we changed the land use code in 2018 and got to build our solar array.
Cool. And how much of that 24 acres is covered with solar panels?
Just over 4.
How many panels is that?
3,276. Exactly. I have 31 rows of panels. It provides enough power for about 300 homes in the area.
That's amazing. And they're elevated. They're up on sort of a framework.
A traditional solar array, the panel height, like the lower edge of it, gets down to maybe 2 feet here in Colorado. We elevated ours up a bit higher so that the lowest part on the solar array is 4 feet, and we even have some that are higher that are about 5'6" at the lowest edge.
Yeah. How tall are you?
6'5"-ish.
How are you doing navigating underneath those solar panels?
I like the taller ones.
Yeah. And so when I heard you on the radio the other day, you were talking about microclimates underneath the solar array. So I didn't understand how there was enough space and shade and how that could possibly create a microclimate.
So on the solar array, we have panels that follow the sun throughout the day. So in the morning, they're facing east. Midday, they're flat. Afternoon, they're facing west. So in the morning, you can imagine that the sunlight is on part of the land, and then the sun and shade slowly cycle over the field. So everywhere gets a little bit of sun, everywhere gets some shade. And then on top of that, the panels are redistributing precipitation off of them. So we have snow, we have dew, we have rainfall, and all of that changes throughout the course of the season as to what time of day those occur on our land. And that changes a lot of microclimates.
Yeah. And what does it do to the soil to have shade and sort of unevenly distributed moisture and stuff like that?
It keeps it cooler. So having cooler temperatures and shade on the ground, it keeps the moisture in the ground longer.
What are you growing?
Sweet corn, tomatoes, peppers, onions, garlic, peas, beans. We work with Wish Garden Herbs to grow a variety of different types of herbs out there, from peppermint, clary sage, so many things.
Is there anything that didn't work?
Depending on what microclimate you plant something, it reacts differently to that microclimate. So squash was one thing that reacted negatively to one of our microclimates.
And what about the solar side of things? Are there any agencies studying your efficiency of the panels and the array and how much power you're generating, like NREL? Are they involved at all?
The National Renewable Energy Laboratory is involved. Our partners at University of Arizona have different meters on some of our panels to detect temperature differences. So the cooler the panels are, the more efficient they are at producing electricity. And one of the ideas is that as the plants are transpiring, they create a humidity. And since it's so dry in Colorado, that humidity should help cool the panels a little bit, therefore making them more efficient.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. I know there was a time when farmers in central parts of the United States were struggling with just the economics of farming. And we thought for a while that wind turbines were going to be the great panacea. They would generate a bunch of dough and they could still farm all around them. This is another angle to creating a more sustainable way of generating additional revenue, generating electricity, and also creating some unique opportunities to grow things that might not have otherwise been successful.
Absolutely. Climate change is coming. We need to learn to adapt to it. And having more shade on the ground is one great way to do it.
Yeah.
Building solar arrays in a way that provides more shade to the ground and allows animals and people and machinery to work provides opportunities not just for tomorrow, but also for decades to come, that we can still use that land and be more climate resilient.
Yeah, it's amazing. And if people want to learn more about it, is there a website where they can see photos and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. jacksolargarden.com. And then we have a small nonprofit, the Colorado Agrivoltaic Learning Center. If you follow my webpage, you can find our nonprofit and get a bunch more videos and information.
Well, listen, we're going to try to tell this story to as many people as we can. I think it's a great story.
Appreciate it, Nick.
Byron, thank you so much for stopping by, and I'm definitely coming out.
Thanks much.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you, Byron. Jack's Solar Garden. You are listening to eTown. Trace Bundy is going to be out to play some more music later on, but right now I'm going to tell you about what's next. Ron Artis II comes from a musical and artistic and big family. He's one of 11 kids. He grew up in Hawaii. His mother is a great singer. His dad was a dynamic musician and preacher who knew that family came first. Ron began playing in a family band in Hawaii, and pretty soon he was out on his own, getting all kinds of attention. He has performed with all kinds of people like Jack Johnson and Zach Brown and G. Love and Joe Bonamassa and many others. He's also a family man. Please help me welcome, for his first visit to eTown, very talented Ron Artis II.
Aloha, everybody. Oh, I say, carry me along. Lord, I am not my own, yeah. Oh, I say, carry now Lord, 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 I am still your child. Some days, well, this world is trying to get me down, but I never worry now, 'cause I'm leaning on you. So whenever this life I breathe, I keep on smiling, ooh, 'cause I'm leaning on you, Lord. Oh, I said, carry now me alone, Lord, I am still your child. Thank you. Mahalo. We recently put out a brand new album that's called We Are Not Machines, because for some weird reason I thought we needed a reminder. A big piece of the inspiration behind this was we don't give ourselves space to have seasons. Season for the soil to rest, a season for harvest, and all those beautiful things. And it seems like when we start feeling like we can't keep up this consistent level of productivity, we start thinking that something's wrong with us. Sometimes all you need to do is sit down and talk to a friend or sit on a beach somewhere. Yeah, it sounds really good, right? So here's a really heavy song. It's called Little Gray Skies. Little river sun, where are you off crying to? It always seems the darkest just before the break of dawn. We never have the flowers if we don't get a little rain. Try and see the beauty after you get through this pain. In the little gray skies. In the little gray skies. Thought you'd have a family, one day see their little eyes. But they went back to heaven, now all you feel is hell inside. Been right where you're standing, I've cried myself to sleep at night. At the darkness, trying to find their little light. In the little gray skies. gray skies. Can't believe that love found me. Can't believe that love found me. And the little gray skies. And the little gray skies. And the little gray sky. Thank you guys so much.
Ron Artis II, welcome to eTown. You sound so good.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, it's great to hear your songs because there's you're talking about looking into the eyes of a child or being inspired by the simple things, beauty and family and love, and so your story is in so many ways about family. As I understand it, your mom is a great singer.
She's amazing.
Yeah, and your dad was a great musician.
One of my major inspirations was my dad.
And as I understand it, he played a lot of music before you guys moved to Hawaii, like Michael Jackson and Van Halen and Stevie Wonder and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
my dad did a lot of crazy things before I was born. And he met my mom, and wow, man, they fell in love. And long story short, there's 11 of us.
Yeah. So, and was I right that your first musical thing was a family band? So with 11 kids, there's bound to be some good ones in there who can pick.
It's a really funny thing, music, because when I first started piano, I was really, really small. That was sort of the instrument I bonded over with my dad, and I just fell in love with it until my 13th birthday when my parents came home from a garage sale with a guitar.
Another garage sale guitar story. Okay.
Yeah, something about those garage sale guitars, man. It just, I got that, and there went the rest of my childhood.
Who were you listening to all those years when you were a teenager, just completely obsessed with guitar?
Oh, man, everyone.
Yeah.
Of course, Stevie Wonder, Pavarotti, Sting, B.B. King, Hendrix, the list goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think growing up for me inside of music was, people argue about a lot of things. And my dad and I, we argued a lot about music theory. You learn all the rules, if you will, of music, and then you're like, how many ways can I express myself within those confines? And one day my dad was discussing with me, he's like, I want to put this chord next to that chord. And I said, you can't. And he's like, you can't? What do you mean I can't? You're going to restrict my art form? And he's like, well, does it sound good? And I was like, that's besides the point. And that would be the argument, folks. And one day my dad shouted out, he said, Ron, it's called music theory, not music law. And I think that was the moment where I was like, my dad was like, light bulb, light bulb.
That's
and
cool.
I'll never forget that day
Yeah.
because it was the moment where I sort of started into this journey of music at its very core is a language.
Right.
What do you want to say?
Yeah. Being in a band is like being at a dinner party.
Yeah.
If you're talking all the time, that's not going to be a very good dinner party.
Yeah, no.
Hey, in case you're just tuning in, you're listening to eTown. I'm here with Ron Artis II. Is it ever hard for you to share these personal stories on stage, some of the songs you write?
Yeah. The acoustic guitar I'm playing today is from my friends over at Santa Cruz Guitars. They made that personally for me in honor of my father who passed away. The guitar's name is Pops. And my friends at Santa Cruz who built it for me built it to the specs of the guitar that my dad used to write a lot of songs on and
cool.
put us to bed as kids. He would play this guitar, and it was the same two chords all the time.
Yeah.
We didn't care.
Yeah.
He'd play it slow if it was suspenseful, speed it up if something was happening. And that's all we
cool.
needed, man. And I lost my dad in 2010. We were really, really close.
Yeah.
It was really unexpected heart attack. And I did what a lot of guys try to do, right? You just try to fill those shoes right away. You just try to pull yourself together, just push through. You just got to do this.
Help your mom.
Yeah. And then one day you run right into this brick wall that says, stop running.
Yeah. Well, listen, as you think about your journey from being his son and being passionate about all that stuff and to where you are now as a dad and married with 5 kids and on your way as a performer, what's your vision for what's coming?
I guess my goal is to redefine the idea of success with music or art in general.
That's cool.
I was talking to a friend the other day and I said, you know, if money is the end all, then why do depressed billionaires exist?
Yeah.
Sometimes you meet people who seemingly have nothing, but they've got community. They're the happiest folks on earth.
Yeah.
And you're just like, where's this balance? What are we always looking for? And that being said, I mean, I was flabbergasted that we just did this new album, and when we released it, some incredible musical friends endorsed it and submitted it for the Grammys this year. Thank you. Yeah. And so we have that long, beautiful, crazy road ahead of us to spread the word on the album. And
It's nice to remember that it's not the destination, but it's also nice to get recognized along the way.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot more music to get to. Ron, it's really great to get to hang out with you a little bit, get to know you, and sure enjoy your music and your singing and your songs and your guitar
Thank
playing.
you. Man, you're
Yeah.
amazing too. Your whole staff here. Everybody, I don't want to say staff, I want to say your family here.
Yeah.
It's really amazing at eTown.
Thank you, man. Well, let's play some more songs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome back, Ron Artis II.
She fusses with her hair, looking for keys, headed to the door now. You wonder what's on her mind, but never thought to ask her before you ran out of time. Used to look each other deep in the eyes and ask, is everything alright? But life sped up, work slowed down, tensions rose. Now nothing feels like home once you fell out of love. Oh, don't you fall out of love, love. And he cries alone to look stronger in her eyes, but she only wished to deal with falls so she could get a glimpse inside. Fears old heart, his big dreams. I know he looks good in a suit and tie, but there's a child crying out inside. But life sped up, work slowed down, tensions rose. And nothing feels like home once you fell out of love. Once you fall out of love, love. So don't you fall out of love. Don't you fall out of love, love. Don't give up on us. 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 Oh, what's up, guys? You ready? Don't give up on us. Come on. Don't give up on us. 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 And don't you fall out of love. Don't you fall out of love. Love. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, this next song is a rocker. This whole album is really about the human experience and healing, and this song is about not being afraid to ask for help. So it's called Pick Me Up. Pick me up when I'm down. I feel so cold, cold, cold. No one has been to feel alone. My heart feels like it can't go on, on. Don't say you love me when I'm gone. Right now I'm slipping through your hands, hands. Pick me up, pick me up, pick me up when I'm falling, falling. I know the broken understand. The ones with nothing in their hands, hands. Being invisible can hurt. Know when you see me, see even worse. I'm not known for crying out. Who's gonna hear me if I'm too proud to shout? We all proclaim we're loving God, but mighty quiet on Matthew 22:39. So pick me up, pick me up, pick me up when I'm falling, falling. So pick me up, pick me up, pick me up when I'm falling, falling. So pick me up, pick me up, pick me up when I'm falling, falling. Thank you so much.
That's Ron Artis II. His record is called We Are Not Machines. Along with the eTones, that's Christian Teal, Adam Bodine, Eric Tureen, Helen Forster singing harmony, Ron Artis II.
This portion of eTown is made possible by the Bohemian Foundation, building stronger communities through the bohemian qualities of creativity and imagination. On the web at bohemianfoundation.org. By the way, did you know that eTown is produced by a nonprofit organization committed to bringing people together through music and conversation? For over 3 decades, we've been on the air celebrating all the things we have in common and highlighting ways in which we can treat each other and the planet better. If you'd like to learn more about eTown or to get involved, please visit etown.org. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. You are listening to eTown. I want to say to our listeners who are hearing eTown right now on stations like KBUU 99.1 in Malibu, California, on KPND 95.3 FM in Deer Park, Washington, and on WQBR 99.9 FM in Avis, Pennsylvania. Thanks for tuning in. As always, if you want some more information about any of our guests, you want to find out more about our interview guest, or see photos, you can know exactly what the pocket square on Ron Artis' suit coat looked like. All of that is available online at etown.org. Okay, I learned a few things so far, certainly about agrivoltaics and life stories of our two musical guests this week. They have very different approaches to their guitar playing, different styles. And of course, I'm just drawn to great guitarists, and it's a treat for me to get to hang out with these guys. Of course, the last 100 years, in my view, the guitar has really helped shape popular music. So even though it's been around for a few hundred years, this last little while has been pretty dang cool. Would you please help me welcome back a contemporary guitar innovator and composer, Trace Bundy.
I think I'm going to end with a children's song, if that's all right. In my opinion, it's the greatest children's song ever written. The lyrics are tender, heartwarming. It's lullaby style, beautiful. And I want to play this for you to end. It's called Sweet Child, Oh Mine.
Trace Bundy from Louisville, Colorado. The record's called Elephant King out on What Are Records, Trace Bundy. We've got time for one more song. We're going to get everybody out on stage. I want to thank all of our guests this week. Of course, thanks to Trace Bundy, coming from Louisville, Colorado, and playing his absolutely unique style of guitar playing. Thanks so much to Byron Kominek for sharing his story about Jack's solar garden, agrivoltaics, a whole new way of looking at things. So glad he was here and able to tell us about all his work out there. Definitely going to go check it out. Thanks to Ron Artis II, coming all the way from Hawaii today, along with his wife and 5 kids. I mentioned how the Beatles were part of my absolute inspiration, and we are going to do something that's going to bring it all full circle right now. I'm Nick Forster. Hope you can be with us next week right here in eTown.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. And remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to make it better. Hey Jude, don't be afraid. Go out and get her. The minute you let her under your skin, then you can swim to make it better. Anytime you feel the pain, hey Jude, refrain. Don't carry the world upon your shoulders. Oh, well, you know it's a fool who plays it cool by making his world a little colder. Hey Jude, don't let me down. You have found her, now go and get her. Remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to make it better, 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 better,
This is a production of eTown.